6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today. Boost, 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 moving up and down again. Don't look at what's in front of you.
Recently, the trailer for 28 Years Later, the continuation of the cult zombie saga started by Danny Boyle and Alex Garland in 2002, was released. The trailer stands out with its grotesque, unsettling style, built around a Rudyard Kipling poem that sends chills down the spine with its repetitive structure. 28 Days Later heralded a new era of horror, introducing the infected, antagonists similar to zombies, but faster, stronger, and more terrifying. Boyle's film, with its raw aesthetic and dynamic direction, created a realistic vision of the apocalypse, discarding the romanticism found in other films of the genre. It was a world no one would want to live in. The sequel, 28 Weeks Later, while not matching the original's acclaim, left behind unforgettable scenes and a chilling atmosphere. For years, there was speculation about another installment, 28 months later or 28 years later. Finally, it was confirmed that the film would hit theaters in 2025, starring Cillian Murphy, with Boyle and Garland once again at the helm. The new film's trailer builds tension from the very first moments. We see a British neighborhood that quickly becomes a stage for the apocalypse. The contrast between calm imagery and horrifying events is heightened by grotesque music. Details such as wide-angle shots and religious symbols, for example, a church destroyed by the infected, evoke the style of the original. The chaos and brutality of the trailer are reminiscent of works like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Garland, who after the success of 28 Days Later went on to create Ex Machina and Annihilation, is known for exploring the limits of human understanding, combining grotesqueness with mythology. Boyle, on the other hand, proved his versatility as a director with Trainspotting and Slumdog Millionaire. Their return to the zombie world together raises high expectations. 28 Years Later has the potential to redefine the genre, offering audiences a mix of horror, unease, and dynamic storytelling. Fans of the series hope the film will live up to its predecessors and provide an unforgettable experience. The trailer for the new installment of the 28 Days Later series expands on the themes of a zombie apocalypse, introducing deeper religious and mythological layers. The film takes place 28 years after the initial outbreak of the virus that spread across the globe. Humanity, forced to adapt to this new reality, has settled in isolated locations where they can effectively defend themselves from the threat. One such location is Lindisfarne, also known as Holy Island, in the United Kingdom. The island's unique feature, being accessible only during low tide, creates a natural protective barrier while amplifying the sense of isolation. Holy Island carries significant historical and spiritual weight. Once the first site of a Viking invasion, its religious roots and ties to Christianity add a profound context to the narrative. The island becomes a symbol of isolation, survival, and the ongoing battle against constant danger. The trailer suggests that the island will play a pivotal role in the story, serving both as a sanctuary and a pressure point where natural barriers and shifting environmental conditions contribute to an atmosphere of tension and dread. The trailer is dominated by evocative imagery, drawing the audience into the story's grim world. A scarecrow pierced by an arrow, resembling a crucifix, and makeshift graves underscore themes of survival, loss, and religious symbolism. The island's stark, somber landscape contrasts sharply with the urban setting of 28 Days Later, giving the story a more secluded and enigmatic tone. This depiction of the world implies that the zombie apocalypse has evolved from merely a physical threat to profoundly shaping human perception, with survivors interpreting their experiences through a spiritual and religious lens. The trailer highlights various aspects of life in an apocalyptic reality, from the struggle for survival to the daily challenges of adapting to harsh new conditions. The island's isolation, difficult accessibility, and bleak scenery serve as the backdrop for a tale about people trying to rebuild the remnants of society. Religious symbolism, along with mythological elements like the almost supernatural traits of the infected, emphasizes the spiritual dimension of the narrative. The trailer builds suspense, presenting the setting as a tense and uneasy space where every decision could mean the difference between life and death. Introducing Lindisfarne Island as the central location lends the film a unique character, blending the past with the present. The stark cinematography, imbued with an underlying sense of dread and references to superstition and spirituality, heighten the atmosphere of the upcoming production. The trailer suggests that the film will deliver not only the thrills of a horror movie, but also a deeper reflection on human nature in the face of an apocalypse. The infected have forced humanity into self-sustaining communes, isolating people into small groups where faith remains one of the few sources of hope in a dying world. This theme is emphasized by posters defining the roles of the island's inhabitants. Meanwhile, Jim, Cillian Murphy from 28 Days Later, makes his return, with his role in this installment appearing just as messianic as before. In the first film, his journey echoed a second coming of Christ, from his resurrection in the hospital to his confrontation with the apocalypse and eventual salvation of others. Graffiti in the trailer alludes to the apocalypse. "Behold, he comes with the clouds," suggesting that Jim's return might be pivotal to humanity's survival. The trailer also showcases biblical references, such as the path to the island revealed during low tide, a clear parallel to Moses parting the Red Sea in the book of Exodus. The island symbolizes salvation, with nature having the power to transform it into either damnation or deliverance. In one of the most striking scenes, infected figures appear on the horizon near a tree reminiscent of the biblical tree of knowledge of good and evil. Their nakedness emphasizes primal instincts and a regression to a savage state, deepening the visual duality of light and shadow. The infected are portrayed as wild and terrifying, embodying the arrival of impending doom. One scene references 28 weeks later, as characters discover a hanging body bearing the name Jimmy and a raven feeding on its remains, an image drawn from biblical psalms. The trailer also hints at the emergence of a new cult centered on the infected, underscored by a mask resembling Munch's The Scream, a symbol of despair and inevitability. Every shot in the trailer carries profound symbolic meaning. Despite limited information, the narrative builds an incredibly compelling and multi-layered story, weaving biblical and mythological themes into the series' apocalyptic framework. The trailer unveils one of the most grotesque scenes, where an infected individual runs their body, thanks to precise framing and depth of field, appearing enormous. Without revealing their face, relying only on movements and silhouette, the scene evokes a deep sense of unease. This nightmarish tone is further emphasized in a moment where an infected, seemingly covered in scales, crouches to the ground. The film explores the evolution of the infected over the course of 28 years, showcasing changes in their behavior and physiology. The creator suggests they may have become even more terrifying creatures, with increased resistance to weapons posing a significant challenge for the protagonists. Another intriguing scene features a cult-like figure against the backdrop of a forest, evoking the atmosphere of a ritual. Surrounded by skulls and bones, it presents a vision of a horrifying religion where nature and death are worshipped. These pantheistic images highlight the shifts in society and its relationship with the infected, transforming from hostility to a grim necessity for coexistence. The trailer also emphasizes dramatic changes in the infected's behavior. They move faster, sometimes silently, their bodies appearing larger and more resilient. These elements create an atmosphere of constant threat. Visually, the creators deliver a stunning aesthetic. Darkness, rawness, and tribal motifs add depth to the story. The final scene, featuring a solitary figure traversing the forest at night, is imbued with mystery and tension. The trailer skillfully builds its atmosphere by combining grotesque imagery with zombie mythology, delving into the roots of the genre. Rather than focusing solely on brutality, it explores a more spiritual dimension of death, where black magic and philosophical questions about life and mortality take center stage. This work stands out not only for its exceptional editing, but also for its ability to leave viewers with unanswered questions that fuel tension and a desire to uncover the story. The trailer heralds not just the continuation of a genre legend, but also a fresh approach to the zombie narrative. With Danny Boyle's vision and Alex Garland's screenplay, the film promises to be one of the most significant cinematic events of 2025.